In the last episode, we talked about Hamlet as a political play. Let's now look at a more supernatural element of the play. Let's focus on the ghost. When you're reading Hamlet or watching Hamlet, you can't help but ask the question if ghosts are real or psychological. In other words, are they manifestations of guilt? Even Macbeth's wife, as you will see, Lady Macbeth, sees things that no one else does. The medical doctor, you see her eyes are open. Aye, but their senses are shut. In other words, she's crazy. What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands. Gentlewoman, and it is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour. So for every 15 minutes she's washing her hands. Lady Macbeth, yet here's a spot. The doctor, hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly. Out, damned spot. Out, I say. 1, 2, why then 'tis time to don't. Hell is murky. Fee, my lord, fee, a soldier and afeard? What need we fear? Who knows it when none can tell our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? That hand stained with blood is treated as metaphorical in King Claudius's self-interrogation. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Yes, Horatio and the guards see the ghost, but you have to interpret it from their own political fears, their search for political prophecies, as we discussed. It is physically sensible, the ghost, in the play, in the same way that in Romeo and Juliet, we talked about how poetry has to be manifested on the stage. In this case, it's clearly manifestations of guilt. Now, what about Hamlet and his mother? Keep in mind, she never sees a ghost, even when he reveals to her that her new husband killed his brother, her husband, and married his wife, all in order to be a king. Where do you look, Hamlet? On him. Look you how pale he glares, his form and cause conjoined. Preaching to stones would make them capable. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. Then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood. And whom do you speak this? Asks his mother. Do you see nothing there? Nothing at all. Yet all that is I see. Nor did you nothing hear? No, nothing but ourselves. Why look you there? Look how it steals away. My father in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes even now, out at the portal. He's going out the door. It's a difficult passage worth parsing. He's pale, the ghost. He glares. His appearance in the form of a ghost is central to the reason or cause for why he is there. He wants revenge, right? It's the perfect joining of form and cause. So perfectly unified or conjoined that if he preached to stones, he could make them capable of action. That means be responsive. And that's a funny term because Hamlet is only capable of responding to this ghost in a limited fashion. And he still hasn't acted. And this state of being capable is also related to him being capable of inheriting property. It's another definition of the word. Is Hamlet capable of being a true son to a king as an heir? We talked about this problem politically. Here's the other problem. Hamlet's father's looks cannot make stones jump. Now, making stones jump is an Ovidian image. It's found when Ovid discusses Orpheus playing music in his grief. The music is so powerful that nature responds to that grief. It moves, it jumps around, stones jump. Hamlet is the stone. His father's grief in words should make him move, but he just sits there. The father can't activate him. Hamlet is afraid, and we see this in inverted syntax. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects. So the inverted syntax is, do not look upon me, lest you convert my stern effects with this piteous action, right? That your pathos makes me act, your appearance. The result will be an action in want or lack of true color. The red of blood, not colorless tears. His father will immobilize him in his grief. The point is in her response, right? She doesn't see anything, his mother. She doesn't believe what he's telling her. She has no bad conscience about marrying her husband's brother only 2 months after his death. She doesn't understand his grief. Hamlet's remarks about the ghost's appearance is also revealing. Hamlet, why look you there? Look how it steals away, my father in his habit as he lived. Look where he goes even now out at the portal. What habit or clothing is he wearing? Now, in Q2, or the first folio, he's wearing armor, as Horatio tells Hamlet. This is Horatio speaking to Hamlet. 2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste in middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point, like all ready to fight, exactly, cap a pie, like from head to foot, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. So he's walking in his armor. They could even see his face. Armed, you say? Armed, my lord. From top to toe? My lord, from head to foot. Then saw you not his face? Oh yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up. That's the metal face mask that goes on a helmet, but it's been pulled up. What? Looked he frowningly? A countenance or a look or a face more in sorrow than in anger. Pale or red? Nay, very pale. And fixed his eyes upon you? Most constantly. I would I had been there. In the first quarto, or Q1 Hamlet, the Hamlet I think is a younger Hamlet because it's a younger, earlier version of Hamlet. It's different. Whereas the stage directions in both Q2 and F1 say quite clearly, this is not a stage direction added by the editors. Those are always in brackets, the ones that drive me crazy. This is a real stage direction. The earlier version that's represented in Q1 is more pitiful. Morning. It's more pitiful. There's more pathos. Remember, they're in her bedroom. This is a real stage direction from the first quarto. Enter the ghost in his nightgown. This sleepwear, his pajamas. Perhaps this intimate detail explains why she will believe her son and help him. But in Q2 or the first folio, it's all ambiguity, even frightening. Is he in his armor in the bedroom? And why is he wearing armor? it's in both versions, right? There are lots of consequences there. Marcellus, is it not like the king? Horatio, as thou art to thyself. He's as real as you or me. Such was the very armor he had on when he, the ambitious Norway, combated. That's, of course, inverted syntax. He combated the ambitious king of Norway. So frowned he once, when in an angry parle, that's when they had a conversation, a meeting, he smote the sledded poleaxe on the ice, those other invaders. 'Tis strange. Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stock hath he gone by our watch. Horatio, in what particular thought to work? I don't know what to think about this, I know not. But in the gross and scope of mine opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state. Some bad's gonna happen. He's wearing armor from his past. It's like an image of his better self. A perfect vision of how he saw himself, right? That armor is associated with his victory. A friend of mine told me that she had a dream of her father after her father died. And he came back to her, she said, wearing a tuxedo. And her father, who was in his 70s, was now in his 30s. And all he did in this dream that she had, this appearance of her dead father, was raise a glass of champagne or something in his hand and toast her. That image of himself in a tuxedo and holding a champagne glass is the best version that he had of himself. This would be the idea. But even in all his armor, this ghost, as I said, doesn't seem to be thinking politically. He's not there to prophesize the state's fall, which we know will happen in the end. But he's here to right a personal wrong. Perhaps this is why in the Q1 version, which I think is an earlier version of the play, he's not dressed in his armor, but humanized with his dressing gown or pajamas. In our next video, we'll take a look at the king's speech.
Alright guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell.